The consequences of having a favorite child. Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I will speak on a topic that resonates deeply within families, communities, and even societies at large: the idea of having a favorite child. We've all heard the phrase, the apple of their eye, and in some families, there might even be a child who is seen as the favorite one. While the love for each child is supposed to be unconditional, it's unfortunate that sometimes one child may be treated with preference over others. But what are the real consequences of this? Let me start by saying that it's completely natural to feel closer to certain children at different stages of life. A parent may bond more with one child during an illness or may connect deeply with a child who shares similar interests. These temporary feelings or connections are not what I'm talking about today. We're discussing a situation where favoritism becomes habitual and persistent, where one child is consistently treated as superior, cherished, or adored more than the others. This kind of favoritism has a far-reaching impact, not just on the child who is favored, but also on the others who may be left feeling neglected or unimportant. The emotional impact on the neglected child. First and foremost, we must talk about the emotional consequences for the child who feels overlooked or unloved. Children, no matter how old they are, thrive on the feeling of being accepted and cherished. When a child feels that they are being treated as less than another sibling, it can lead to feelings of insecurity, inadequacy, and even anger. They might wonder, what's wrong with me? Why does mom or dad prefer my sibling over me? This feeling of being unloved or undervalued can affect a child's self-esteem for years, even into adulthood. They might grow up feeling like they have to work harder, be more perfect, or sacrifice their own happiness just to earn the love and approval they crave. This constant striving for validation can lead to stress, depression, and a lack of confidence. Worse still, children who are ignored or neglected may struggle with relationships in the future. If a child doesn't feel supported at home, they might not learn how to build healthy relationships with others outside the family. In adulthood, they may struggle with trust issues or have difficulty forming strong connections because they've internalized the belief that love is something to be earned rather than freely given. The impact on the favored child. You might think that the favored child is in a better position, they get all the attention and affection, so how could there be any negative consequences for them? But the reality is, being the favorite isn't always a blessing. The favored child can often feel an immense amount of pressure. They may be led to believe that they have to maintain their status as the chosen one by being perfect, achieving at a high level, and always meeting the high expectations set by the parents. This pressure can be overwhelming, and when the favored child inevitably fails, which is part of the human experience, they may feel a sense of guilt or failure that is disproportionate to the situation. They might also struggle with feelings of isolation, as they may sense that their siblings resent them and feel conflicted between loyalty to their family and their intense expectations. They might even develop a sense of superiority, which could alienate them from others. It's important to remember that being overly favored doesn't always mean being the happy child. It often means living with the fear of letting everyone down. Siblings and rivalry. The consequences of favoritism also affect the dynamics between siblings. Sibling rivalry is a natural part of growing up, but when one child feels like the golden child, the rivalry can become toxic and long-lasting. The relationship between siblings can be marred by resentment, jealousy, and anger. When one sibling is constantly compared to another, whether directly or indirectly, it leads to unhealthy competition and bitterness. Moreover, children who are pitted against one another in such a way may begin to harbor lasting grudges. They may grow to distrust each other or even distance themselves emotionally. Family harmony is often disrupted, and a deep rift can form between siblings that might take years, if not decades, to repair. This tension between siblings affects childhood and can stretch into adulthood. Imagine two siblings who, as adults, still cannot get along because of the dynamics that were established in their formative years. These issues can be hard to overcome, leading to fragmented family gatherings, tension during family events, and a lack of support between siblings later in life. Parental relationships favoritism doesn't just harm the children, it also takes a toll on the relationship between the parents. Families where one parent has a favorite child can create tension and even division between the two parents. One might not even be aware of the favoritism, but the other parent might feel hurt, frustrated, or powerless to address the situation. A parent constantly favoring one child can lead to arguments, a lack of mutual support, and even resentment between spouses. Over time, this division can chip away at the foundation of the marriage, causing a rift that can be difficult to repair. Furthermore, the parents may not be fully aware of the damage they are doing to their family's dynamic by promoting one child over others. It is crucial for both parents to approach their children equally, showing love, support, and attention to each child's unique needs and qualities. The long-term consequences. The consequences can extend far beyond childhood when favoritism is practiced over an extended period. Children's relationships with their parents can become strained as they grow into adults. The neglected children might find it difficult to connect with their parents or may even cut ties with them completely as a way to protect themselves from further emotional harm. Conversely, the favored child may find themselves feeling isolated from their siblings, disconnected from the family unit, and facing the anxiety of constantly being the chosen one. They may struggle to build authentic relationships with their peers because they've never had to learn how to connect on an equal level. Parents who favor one child over others also run the risk of never truly understanding their children. They may fail to recognize the individual challenges or unique qualities that each child brings into the world. Instead of nurturing each child's growth, they will reinforce unhealthy patterns affecting everyone involved. Conclusion. So, what can we do to avoid the consequences of having a favorite child? First and foremost, it's essential to recognize the importance of fairness and equity in our relationships with our children. Every child is unique, and while it's natural for us to connect with them in different ways, it's important that we make an effort to show love and support for each of them equally. We must also acknowledge that favoritism is harmful to everyone involved: the favored child, the neglected child, the siblings, and even the parents themselves. Healthy family dynamics are built on trust, respect, and mutual support. When we let go of the notion of favorites and instead embrace the idea of valuing each child for who they are, we create a stronger, more harmonious family. Favoritism isn't just a small issue, it's a destructive force that can damage a family for generations. It's a lesson worth learning. Love is not meant to be divided. Instead, it should be shared with every child, every day, with care and equality. Only then can we create truly supportive, loving, and united families. If this talk benefits you, please like, comment, subscribe, and share so that others can benefit from it. Thank you. Jessie Dawn.